What's up, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Ola. Today with legendary Peter Tägtgren of Hypocrisy and Pain.
Good evening, good day. How are you?
Don't let me hang.
Sorry, bro.
So good to have you here.
Yeah.
And I actually have a little bit of I'm a little bit starstruck because during the 90s, I was a huge, I'm still a huge Hypocrisy fan, but
thank you.
One of the first songs I learned on a 7-string guitar during the 90s was Roswell.
Okay.
And it was just like, I played that song with my band in like in a rehearsal space.
Okay.
So very important, that whole like penetralia and all that. It was very important to me. And that's a long time ago.
Oh yeah, getting old. But yeah, those were the days, you know, when you didn't think, you just, I got a riff, put it on, do it 4 times.
Yes.
Oh, I got another, okay, put it on.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't really think about structure or anything like that. What is chorus, what is intro, whatever.
Right.
You just boom, 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 boom.
So do you feel nowadays when you write that you're overthinking then? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always. Always overthinking. Yeah, I guess you get a little bit better of structuring songs and things like that, but you also become like a little bit like everybody else.
Yes.
Let's have an intro.
Yeah.
Then let's have the main riff, you know, verse, chorus, whatever, C part, blah, blah, blah. So it's like a puzzle. But with the new Pain album, I try to avoid a lot of stuff of that.
Okay.
You know? But some songs has to have an intro because I have some cool keyboard shit and stuff like that, you know, but like go with the flow. It just starts with the verse right away. Boom.
Yes. So do you feel like, okay, because I'm very much into songwriting and you know how other guys and gals write songs. Yeah. Do you feel like, okay, for Pain, do you write like, okay, do you think in like, okay, 3 singles maybe, and then I can do whatever I want? Or is it like...
No. I don't think singles. I just try to get catchy stuff, you know, with a good rhythm that, you know, even if you're deaf, you can really feel it.
Right.
Since I'm a drummer, I'm not a guitarist, so that's why we're not sitting here.
Well, no one does really. When I bring people on here, I don't want them to put them on the spot by putting a guitar in their lap. Yeah. Because it's like, you know, some people they can do it naturally. Yeah. Like if someone would put a guitar in my hands, I would be like, you know, I just.
But you do that all day long. I only do it when I write or stand on stage.
Well, you say I do it all day long, but you have no idea how little it actually is out of all the things that you do.
Yeah, you probably don't have time for a lot of practice.
Exactly. But so you have a new Pain album, I Am.
Yeah.
And what's it all about? Any concept or?
No, well, it's...
Just fix this.
Whoops, sorry.
There you go.
I would say it's a ego trip as always. You know? This represents 2 years of what I was thinking and how I was seeing things in life. Okay. And I think every Pain album is different from each other, and that's the point of having Pain for me, just to explore, you know, more technical stuff. You know, and with Hypocrisy, I wouldn't go different with Hypocrisy. We just want to make better songs in because we found our style, you know, sort of. So with Pain, I'm still looking, and even if I would find a style, I will just keep on going looking.
You feel like you have a little bit more freedom in that sense.
Yeah. So I'll just write things, and sometimes it becomes a hit, sometimes it don't. It doesn't really matter for me. The most important thing is the creativity of the song. You know, you start with the melody and you see how it blooms and things. It's like maybe I should be a gardener or something, you know, because I really love to start from nothing and just see how it, and that kind of satisfies me.
So what happens then when you get stuck?
Well, then you're out of luck.
Yes, exactly. Because I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like when you start from scratch and the song just writes itself. But what happens when you get stuck? Does it take a month to finish a song?
Sometimes. Yeah. It's the same thing with mixing. Yeah. Some songs takes forever and they never become good, and I don't know why. I could copy exactly the bass sound, the settings on the bass. I could copy the kick, snare, blah blah blah. You know, the solid ground of it. Nope.
Just can't get it.
Can't get it.
Yeah.
One song of that is the new single, Push to Pusher.
Yeah.
It fucking drives me nuts. It's not good. And I can't fucking get it right.
Yeah, okay.
It's impossible. But this is as far as I could get with that. All the other songs, no problem.
Yeah.
How can it be?
Yeah.
And I started thinking about, okay, maybe it's the tone, you know, the in it that makes it really flat.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get the.
Yep.
But you have the kick that's punchy on all the other songs and this song, but you can't get the body in it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So are you experimenting with different tunings, or is it like the one and the same tuning? Or?
I'm too lazy. I do drop A.
Okay.
You know,
because that could be a problem. Like when you have drop A songs and then you have a drop C or like drop D song, and just getting them to match on an album, it's really difficult.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it doesn't mean that I play every song in drop E, drop A.
No.
But like you said, you know, G is phenomenal. C is also perfect.
Yeah.
When you come to B, it just A sharp. I know why Meshuggah was doing that in the 90s, because there you have it.
Yeah.
Just a half tone.
Yep. And it sounds right.
Yeah. Isn't it insane?
Yes.
Sounds are, you know, waves
Yeah.
that comes and goes, you know, and sometimes they collide with each other or phase out each other. I even had to phase out my snare on this album on a couple of songs because the bass ate it.
Oh, okay.
I never had that before.
Wow.
If you mix too many kicks and microphones and, you know, the sub kick and, you know, you put a, I don't know, 421 inside and put another one outside, and of course you're going to get some phase problems. But, you know, a snare in the mix, I never had that in my whole life. So certain parts on tones on bass or guitar, it just sucked out the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I had to like program to go 180 on certain parts.
Right.
Isn't it weird?
So do you record drums for this yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sebastian played drums.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Right. So, but he also touring with you guys?
Yeah. Okay. He's been touring since he turned 18 because I didn't want to let him out.
That's right. I think we played together with the Haunted on a cruise. And I remember I met him for the first time. I think it was Payne and...
Could be. And we also did last year this weird festival, remember? With Haunted and...
Where was that?
And Payne out in nowhere.
I don't remember which one.
It was down in South Sweden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
You remember?
Yes. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years?
Yes. Oh. But it was a cool festival, like a small little...
Yeah, and the service was great, you know. Maybe next time more people.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, okay, I'm thinking, with Payne, you obviously have like a certain production style, and but with Hypocrisy, for instance, I mean, up until the last album, Worship, you didn't have an album for a long while.
Yeah.
How, like... Why? Like, did you feel like you just didn't have anything with Hypocrisy, or
it was more to have time to focus?
Okay,
I would say. I mean, I just looked back 10 years and I was like, what did I do for 10 years? You know, 2 Payne albums, 2 Hypocrisy albums, 2 Lindemann albums, 1 Joe Lynn Turner album, and a lot of touring with 3 bands.
Yeah.
And, you know, starting like with Lindemann, we had to start from scratch.
Okay.
You know, so we had to figure out what to do. And things like that takes forever. So 7 albums in 10 years is not too bad. No, but it feels really fucked up, you know, because,
that's a high output,
in
my opinion.
Yeah, and still I was busy with other things. So I could probably do an album a half a year. But, you know, let's see. After a while, when you know how it is with your inspiration, after 3 or 4 songs, it kind of stops.
Yeah.
Especially with Hypocrisy, because you have to be careful. You can't just like copy paste.
No.
You want to be unique every song.
Yeah.
So it takes a while. With Payne, it goes automatically because I go into all the technical stuff, and that kind of makes me inspired. You know, oh, a new keyboard sound, or a new this and that, and blah blah blah. But with Hypocrisy, we don't want to change anything. We just want to make better songs.
Right. But do you feel like, because you're working with a lot of other bands as well, obviously.
I did.
Did? Okay, you stopped, or?
Yeah, well, I don't have time.
Okay.
I mean, if something cool comes around, sure. But right now, I think the last one I did was Possessed.
Oh, okay.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Because, it's not so much time. But how can you refuse Possessed?
Yeah, that's right.
So I just dropped everything. Okay, I'm in.
But I mean, like, when you, because that's what I discovered when I was producing. It's like you record so many bands, and you can find bits and pieces here that would inspire you. Yeah. Like, oh, dude, this is so cool, because it's just other people with different minds. Yeah. And if you brought that into Pain and Hypocrisy and stuff like that.
In the 90s, you know, when I was really going crazy with the production and stuff, then, yeah, of course, you were recording band and you got influenced by all the things they hear. And it's, I guess it's been like that since you were a kid, you know, whatever comes in here gets stuck, and that's how it's going to end up in the future. You know, it's in there together with all the other stuff, and that inspires you. Yeah.
So what were your influences when you were growing up?
I don't know. Kiss was a main thing, of course. And you had, let me see, Sweet, Slade, Led Zeppelin, Doors, Beatles, of course. That's my main shit. Rolling Stones, all that stuff in the 70s. Beginning of 80s, you know, Maiden came out. Judas been on, but they've never been on my map until beginning of 80s. Yeah. And how the British New Wave comes out, and Venom 81 with Welcome to Hell, and then things started happening, you know? 11 years old and just going, Satan! And it kept on going, you know. Hellhammer came out, and then Celtic Frost and Possessed, and, you know, so you just kept on going with it.
So when you were like writing the first Hypocrisy album, what were the inspirations right there? Was it?
I just told you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
kind of thing. Okay. But the most, sorry about that. Most of the stuff that inspired me for Hypocrisy, because we had another band before called Conquest, but it was more thrash metal-ish, not so heavy stuff. But when I went to America in '88, I came right into the Florida scene, because I moved to Florida there for, I was there for 3 years on and off, and you discovered so many bands coming out, 88, 89, 90, you were just going, where did I go? And all suddenly, my friend Phil from Malevolent Creation, he's like, hey, he always calls me Svendi. Hey, Svendi, check this out. And he turned something on, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's a Swedish band in tune. I was like, what's that sound? You know, it's like, holy shit. Yeah. So all these things, I was actually on the first Deicide release party up in Tampa, Orlando or something. I think Cynic opened up for them.
Oh, okay, cool.
And never heard them before. I saw them, I was like, holy shit, you know? Yeah. And things like that inspired me, and I had so many riffs in my, because I write all the riffs in my head. I don't sit like this, you know? Yeah. And I said to the guy, hey, I gotta go home, because my friend has a studio in Ludvika at that time, and I have to get it out, you know? Yeah. So I went home, and I said, I'll see you on tour, and he's like, yeah, right. So, yeah, I started doing demos and stuff, and tried to sing on it. Didn't work out good. I met up with Masse because his grandma and grandpa lives in the woods. He's from Stockholm originally, so he was up there a lot. And he was playing at the time with Michael, our bass player, because they lived in the same village. So that's how it started. And I went to Söke because me and him played in Conquest before. So, you know, I got a contract before having members. Okay. So it was a little bit weird. Well, Massa was in there, and me, that was it. Yeah. So that's how it started.
So that's actually kind of, you know, back during the 90s, where early 90s you would have all these Swedish death metal bands, and, you know, everyone's on the map, like you said, Entombed, then you had all the, you know, Dismember and Grave, and then we have Hypocrisy, which you know, I wouldn't necessarily call the sound Swedish.
Nah,
for Hypocrisy. So I can definitely hear like maybe a little bit of a mixed inspiration from
a lot of death as well. You know, like simple stuff. You know, and you are what you eat. Yes, I think at those days. You know, and then of course it got more brutal with Osculum Obscenum. And we tried to push the limit. You know, with because I did pretty much 80–90% of the drums on Penetralia. Yeah, and a lot of it was from the demos and stuff, because I was too lazy, and Lars wasn't so good on playing double bass, so I had to do that. Okay. But then after that, Osculum, you know, we pushed it because we called him Uzi Man because he was going
okay.
super fast on that. So we based songs on that as well, you know. So you adapt to how we are in the band as musicians and stuff. So,
but what you tuned down to? When did you start with 7 strings, or did you play 7 strings?
Yeah,
yes.
Universe '97, I think. Yeah. I got hooked when we were on tour with Meshuggah on Destroy, Erase, Improve tour. So '97, I started with that. Before that, we actually Michael told me, I couldn't even remember that we lift the tone on the ground line because it's an A.
Oh, okay,
and we tuned the guitar to that. We didn't have a tuner on the 2 first albums.
Okay. Oh, whatever works.
Yeah, I think I don't know if the first album is accurate or something, or we just tuned down. He also had a music store upstairs.
Right.
So we just looked for the fattest strings, and we just took them and put them on and just tuned down.
Oh, okay.
We didn't give a shit. Oh, this sounds heavy. Let's go.
Really? Cool. What did you use for like amplifier stuff? I know you have a lot of amplifiers today.
Yeah. Oh. Was it Kruger?
Gallian Kruger. Yeah.
A rack.
Yes.
And then we used. They had a keyboard speakers in the past.
Yeah.
So 2 12s with an amp for keyboards. You know? So we have one each of that. I can't remember what preamp I used. So.
But it's like a flat response speaker then.
But hey, whatever works.
I was just thinking like, okay, if you plug in a distortion into a flat response, it's going to sound like it is without an impulse response or a cabinet.
No, but actually, it sounded pretty cool.
Okay.
It's an amp with a preamp.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
For keyboards where you put the output on the back and you have like a stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we used that in the beginning on the 2 first albums. I can't really recollect all of it, but I think so.
Yeah. But have you used rectifiers?
I started using that '96, I think.
Yes. Because that's the same thing at that time was like 7 strings and rectifier was like what I was into at the time. So I remember, I think Abducted, like I read somewhere, it was rectifier.
Yeah, it was rectifier. And I didn't have the 7 string then.
Okay, nice.
I think I was... either a Fernandez, this Randy Rhoads, or if I was using the Gibson Explorer that Svane changed microphones for me when he was still working at this music store.
Yeah.
Because I wanted, what is it, 501s? I think they're actually, or is it 498? Either way, I swapped.
Okay.
Because I like the rhythm microphone better.
Right.
I think it was that one I was using for Abducted album. But then 2 or 3 albums after that, it was Universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, what you guys use? I know Hypocrisy. You use Kempers. You told me.
Yeah. Live.
Right.
Yeah,
but I mean, then you have ESP guitars that you're playing.
And Elof has solo.
A solo guitar. Yes. Yeah. And with Pain, like, are you playing guitar with Pain, or you do? Okay.
Yeah. So
is it the same setup, or same Kemper amps, or
no? No, it's totally different. Go straight into the computer.
Okay.
With plugins.
Okay. Yeah, so do you have different plugin settings for different songs then, or?
A little less distortion and more distortion. That's about it. All right. You know, and depending on what song it is.
What type of plugins are you talking about?
Sunset.
Okay, the Sunsub. So you just have a guitar into a Sunsub.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
So cool. Everything, you know, also with backtracks, with keyboards, because there's shitloads of, you know, you can't really play it live. Right. I mean, and sweeping and shit. So I don't give a shit. Pain is that kind of band, you know, ESP guitars, depending what. I mean, with Hypocrisy, I prefer Explorer.
Yeah.
With Pain, I prefer Les Paul kind of. And it is just the way how I play. And there's, I mean, on verses, I don't sing. So I just go, flip it off.
Right.
That one I change a couple of times a tour. They wear out.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So I try to get the really expensive ones, still wear out. So it's just the way it is. I mean, of course, you can program like turning off the volumes, but what if you have some feeling and want to do something?
Right.
So I don't want to do that.
Is a computer running for a computer? Is it safe? Like, have you run into problems?
So far, nothing.
Okay, knock on wood. Because that's why I'm asking. Is because a lot of people are commenting on me making a rig like this through a computer, and obviously, I mean, I'm afraid that it's not been tested enough. And you've heard ghost stories about rigs going down and then you don't have anything.
And we have lights programmed with it as well. Yeah. So if that computer dies, you're fucked.
Do you have a backup computer?
Yeah. If you get a computer, don't put shit in there.
No. It's a working computer for that.
Yeah, exactly. Put the program that you use, that you're comfortable with. I would do MP3s, 320.
Oh, okay.
So it's not so heavy. Just everything to avoid and not to have too many plugins.
Yes. So what DAW do you use then? Pro Tools or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, it's the dummies program. You know, anyone can do it. When I started, it was actually like tape player.
Yep.
That I was used to.
Yep.
So I actually had 3 days to learn it, and then Dark Funeral came in. And I just had to go. So learning by doing it.
Yes.
You know? And that's the only way to do it. I tried Cubase. I can't even get a channel out. You know, because I haven't got into it.
No.
You know.
No.
So
I mean, nowadays all the DAWs are great.
Yeah.
It's just the one you learn, and then you kind of stick with that, with the one you work the fastest with, obviously.
My son used Nuendo? No, what was it called?
What
was it called? Where you can move everything around like crazy.
No. Studio One or?
No.
Reaper, Studio One, Logic, Cubase, Pro Tools.
Nope.
Reason?
I don't know. No, it's whatever. A lot of people are using it anyhow, but and he's comfortable with it, you know. So you have to find your own rig that you're comfortable with.
But then when you play with Pain, you have all of that in there, but then it's just the external things are the drums and the vocals then.
Guitars.
But the bass and guitar go through the computer.
No, not vocals.
Oh yeah, no. But the guitar and bass go through the computer. Is that already set levels?
Guitars are there.
Yeah.
But bass goes just a line out.
Okay.
And in the front of house, he makes an extra channel with some distortion on it for the bass. So he makes that the only thing that goes in the computer is really crazy drum loops, for example. Keyboards, a lot of keyboards, unfortunately, but that's what Pain is. You know? And some shouts in here and there, you know, and that's about it. So it's not so heavy. Yeah. And also it sends out a SMPTE code.
Yes.
To the grandma table. For lights and things. It works good.
I'm just like setting all of that up and making it sync and work and
get people to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't have all the balls in the air and get professional people.
I'm thinking like, okay, but if I try and learn it, I will understand it. It's going to be easier to troubleshoot it when it goes the wrong way, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But on the other hand, get someone with you that knows it.
I hear you.
Save you a lot of gray hairs.
So I'm thinking going back to. When you started Pain, because I was there too, and you launched the first single, I think I read in a magazine, or a friend of me told me, because we were like, Hypocrisy is just so brutal and grim, and then you come out with Pain. It's like, I think it was on ZTV, like something like that back then. And I was like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah.
Like, why? I think a lot of us asked.
Exactly.
But then I read. I think I read, or maybe I dreamt it, or a guy told me, but it said, he's doing it so he can actually make money. Because Hypocrisy wouldn't make enough money back in the day or something like that.
Okay, that's a good one, but it's not accurate, unfortunately.
I think I know what the answer is. You had Hypocrisy, which is your Hypocrisy sound.
Yeah.
And you can't really, I mean, if you would do something completely different with Hypocrisy, I understand why you do it. I mean, I have 7 projects. Because I don't want to
destroy that one.
No, exactly.
You don't want to change
it.
Exactly. But for me, it was mainly I started writing other stuff while we were doing Abducted in that area in '95, And I got a hold of like Goa trance techno stuff. And I was like, oh, listen to these distortions. You know, I was just, holy shit. So I wanted to start trying to do that. And also, you know, Pink Floyd, actually what came out on Abducted, these 2 slow songs, was actually the first start of Pain. But the other guys they said, hey, let's put it on. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But now if you look on Spotify, it's one of the most listened. I don't get it. But anyhow, that's how it started. I didn't have good keyboard sounds, so I started adding guitars on top of it. And then you have Pain. So my dad used to make synthesizers in the 70s. So I was fed with keyboard music, like Jean-Michel Jarre, you know, Oxygen in 76, 77. So it was in there, but I just didn't wake it up. So that's how it started. So yeah, money, I don't think so.
I mean, it was on ZTV, which is like, that's a big thing.
Then I mean,
if it wasn't on the Hard Rock Hour, which was like once a week, I mean, I would say that it was a big thing.
But I give my my kudos to David Mortimer Hawkins. He was pushing like a mother. You know, in the Universal.
What was the first single, End of the Line?
Yeah.
I remember.
Which was from the second album.
And
when this one took off, they actually bought the first album from Nuclear Blast. And released it. And then, the whole ball started rolling, and I was very uncomfortable. I didn't like it at all.
Was it a new world?
Yeah, I didn't really like it. I mean,
did it go too quick, or?
People that you know started getting weird. Because they thought I became something that I was not. And it was kind of fucked up, you know, in your local food store, people running after you and things like that. It was just like, that's why I live in a small village, not to have this. So, but that's all past now, you know. People know what they're dealing with. So, but yeah, it was, for me, I got offended. Why didn't you think about this? I've been doing Hypocrisy songs, blah, 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 you know? You start thinking like that, so you got a little bit offended of it.
So how did you end up with Peter Stormare in your Go With The Flow single?
Well, we've known each other for, I don't know, 15 years or something like that. Yeah, we always send each other things, and we're both Beatles nerds. So we always talk about like, oh, did you hear what they did there in the 60s, blah, 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 and things like that. And he actually helped me also when I was there with Possessed to set up recording for everything except the drums. Because the drums, we went to a really fancy studio where, I can't remember what it's called, but I know Korn recorded Follow the Reaper, no.
Follow the Leader.
Follow the Leader. In that studio. So we did all the drums and stuff there, and then we took it to his friends, to Peter Stormare's friends' studio, where we were sitting and doing the rest. And then I went home and mixed it at home. So I know him for a long time. I always send him, when I write a new Pain song, I send it to him. He comes with some comments, and you know, I observe it and things like that. So we always stay in contact. And he's a hell of a funny guy, you know. The
video itself, it's a little bit like, what's the movie?
Fear and Loathing.
Fear and Loathing, exactly. Have you gotten a lot of comments that you look like Johnny Depp? Is that what you're playing on, or?
Actually, I said, okay, f it, let's try it.
Let's just go with it.
And see what people think. And it was more just to f with people, really, you know, to like, we know you think that, so let's do it. And from the beginning, I had this idea that me and Peter was going to sit in the back of a car, and it was just going to drive, and it's going to stop, and people go in and go out. But it was too complicated to do it for, you know, this kind of amount of money and shit. You need like green walls behind you and in the car, and you want to get out in the car in the gas station or see a gas station and get people. It was just like it would be a long process. So we said, okay, the director Andre, he said like, let's do small snippets of different movies.
Exactly.
And we said, let's do it. So we just winged it. Okay, go in the car now and just let's do the first verse. And what is this supposed to be? Oh, this is Pulp Fiction. Okay, you know, when he blows his head in the back. A little bit like that. So we just tried to do different stupid things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, the new album, Pain album, I Am, is out in May.
Yeah, 17th.
Awesome. Dude, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Huge pleasure, and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.